Hello there and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be giving you a run through of some of my most favourite Aliexpress makeup that I've tried recently. That's a long title, isn't it, for the video? All of my recent favourites from Aliexpress that I've tried recently. I'll try and condense that for the title into something short and snappy. Yeah, I'm just going to tell you about all of my favourites today. Maybe that's the title. Here's my favourites. Here they are. Okay, so I'm not very organised. Like, when am I ever? Like, I think it would be more of a surprise if I was suddenly very organised, but I've got all of these favourites in this box. I'm just going to be pulling them out at random. So the first favourite that I really have been absolutely loving and was greatly impressed by is this. Oh, it looks shit, doesn't it? Because half of them are fallen out, but yeah, so anyway, I'm going to take them out. I just realised it just looks really shit with I'm holding up a plastic box. Okay, so this is the Ladies Night Out liquid lipstick and lip liner set from Cant Be. It features 6 liquid lipsticks and 6 matching lip liners. It also features a bonus lip primer, which I just think is a glorified lip balm, and it's a very nice lip balm. But I did find that when I first tried the set and I applied the lip primer prior to applying the liquid lipstick, it kind of got in the way of how well the liquid lipstick was kind of adhering to my lips, because the lip primer had like a bit of an emollient kind of finish to it. So when I was trying to apply the liquid lipstick, it was just like, ugh, it was just like skating all over the place, like some kind of ice skater who'd been taking something. Yeah, I don't really recommend the lip primer, but the liquid lipsticks are absolutely gorgeous. They are definitely, like, you know, you can feel them on your lips. They're definitely a little bit drying, but you show me a liquid lipstick that isn't a bit drying and I will do a balloon release in my garden. It's just part and parcel of a liquid lipstick is that it's going to be a bit drying, because it needs to adhere to your lips and it needs to set into place so it lasts all day. They are a little bit drying, but out of all of the liquid lipstick formulas I've tried, and believe me, I've tried many different liquid lipstick brands, most of which are pretty expensive, definitely a lot more expensive than these ones. I think that these are actually the comfiest that I've tried. They have a beautiful kind of matte finish, but a couple of them, for example, like the red and the burnt orange shade, they did have a little tiny bit of like a gloss to them, and I say gloss in the loosest possible sense of the word. They weren't all the way flat matte, so if you have a lot of lines on your lips, or you know, if your lips are textured, then I think that those 2 shades would be especially flattering. So in this set, they basically have 3 nudes, and then they have a beautiful, super, like, scarlet, bright red. They have a very unique but more somber kind of burnt orange, and they have a beautiful vampy plum. So I really love the liquid lipsticks, but the star of this set for me are the lip liners. I am absolute crap at applying lip liner. Like, I am the worst at it, but for some reason, like, I think because these lip liners are just so creamy and they go on so smoothly. They're very, like, rich and pigmented. So, you know, you don't have to do like loads and loads of passes. You can just go once, done. They're so easy to use. I have found my perfect lip liner, and these are just so affordable. I think the whole set for the 13, or is it 13 products? Yeah, for the 13 products, the whole set costs about £11. The price is always fluctuating, as they always do on Aliexpress, but I think that's actually a really good deal for all of the really good quality products you get. And if you're a fan of lip liners, or if you are someone that struggles with applying lip liner and you've just not found your perfect lip liner, then I would urge you to try these lip liners, because they're bomb diggity down. I've used them pretty much every day since I first tried them. Whenever I've been using makeup, of course, I've used them because they're so good. They're now my new favourites. So the only thing I would say is a criticism with these lip liners is that they all just look the same, and I just wish they had some kind of identifier on them so that you could visually just see at a glance what shade they were, because you kind of have to go through and like open each one and inspect it. I know, such a first world problem, and I kind of hate myself for even mentioning this, but I just feel like because the product is just so bomb diggity down, and because I'm reaching for these all the time, it just would really help to know which shade you're going to be reaching for before you've reached for it, you know. But hey, it's a first world problem. So okay, so next we have the That's Taupe eyeshadow palette by the Gukami brand. I recently tried this and it has fast become my absolute favourite neutral palette. So this is a very kind of cool toned, very kind of, I'd say, everyday wearable, but you can also turn it very quickly into a very glamorous look using the metallics. It's a very kind of user-friendly palette. The mattes are very creamy, super easy to work with because they're not powdery. You don't have to like put loads of elbow grease to like blending them. They kind of blend out themselves, and I know that you're probably listening to that and you're probably thinking they blend out themselves. Yeah, right, as if that's like saying, you know, you could have a boyfriend and he would put the laundry away without you having to prompt him. Oh shit, I've just remembered I've not put the clothes from the washing machine into the dryer. Oh shit, I meant to do that before filming the video, completely forgot, but I will try to remember after the video. I probably won't. I should do it now, but I'm going to wait because it just would not be my nature to actually go down and do it now. It's in my nature to leave it sat wet in the washing machine for at least 6 hours after the wash is complete. So the metallics in this palette are, oh my gosh, they're so beautiful. They're just so metallic. They're so glowy, so pigmented, so opaque. Again, super easy to work with. Most of the time I will wet my brush just to get the most out of the metallic, but you don't even have to do that with these because they're just so beautiful. I recently tried the mini retro palette from Miss Natasha Denona. I absolutely love this palette. The metallics are so beautiful, but I would definitely say that the metallics in the That's Taupe palette, they're not on par, but they're very close. Also, the matte formula is very close to that of the Natasha Denona mattes because they're just so creamy. It almost kind of makes you question, are they hybrid creams or are they just powders? I don't know. These two, very comparable. So I would definitely recommend this palette for those of you that love a little bit of like cool tone, taupey, camel brown realness. Like if you're really into like a palette that you can just reach for, you can very quickly, very easily come up with a really beautiful, everyday kind of wearable look. But then, you know, if you want a pop of a little bit extra, you can go in and you can really build up a very like special, glamorous look. I feel like this would be the perfect palette to keep in your work bag. So say like, no, obviously no one's doing this at the moment because of lockdown. Now I'm just not generally doing it because I have young kids. But I remember back in the days before I had kids and I actually had a social life, we would all go into work and then we'd go out after work. So this would be like a great palette to have in your bag to like take your daytime look to a nighttime look. I'm never doing that these days. I permanently live in daytime looks, or I do nighttime looks during the day because that's just what happens when you're a mum. You're just either a nighttime look during the day kind of girl, or well, that's it, because I'm never wearing a nighttime look at night, out and about. It's just not happening anymore. Oh my gosh, this palette is so affordable, so beautiful. I really recommend Gukami for the win. Okay, so next we have a eyeshadow palette by, again, Cant Be. So this is the 4C palette. I'm not really into these kind of overwhelming warm tones. I do tend to gravitate much more to cooler tones. At a glance, I look at this palette and it honestly does not excite me that much, but the formula of these eyeshadows is phenomenal. And the reason why I'm mentioning it today isn't because it's a personal favourite of mine, because I don't really reach for this palette purely just because the shades are just not really like what I go for. The reason why I'm mentioning it today is because, you know, we're not all the same, and there's going to be loads of people that look at this palette visually and say, oh my gosh, wow, I absolutely love that. I would want to reach for that every day, and I could think of 1,000,001 looks that I would create with that palette. And I'm mentioning it for you guys because the formula of these shadows is mesmerizing. The metallics, not so anything to write home about. They are, for the most part, like for example these marble eyeshadows, they're okay, but they're just nothing like super special. It's the mattes that just make this palette stand out from the rest. Shadows are so pigmented but very easy to work with. Usually with very pigmented shadows, they can be a pain in the ass to blend, but these ones are like really easy, really nice to blend. They're just a great shadows, and the palette as a whole, it just, I think, works really well together. If you're looking at this palette right now and thinking, yes, rake me off a piece of that, I would definitely recommend, and I can reassure you that the quality of the shadows is fantastic and you would not be disappointed. Okay, so next we have one of my new favourite foundations from Aliexpress. This is the Matte Foundation by Miss Rose. I recently tried this, and it's honestly, it's become my favourite filming foundation because I find that it's a little bit too full coverage for me to wear like out and about on the daily. I definitely favour more of a like medium to low coverage, just because I'm getting older now, and I just find that A, I don't really need a like heavy coverage, but B, heavy coverages just accentuate my lines, my pores, my texture. So yeah, I don't wear this out and about, but for filming in front of the lights, it just looks impeccable. I've got it on today and I absolutely love it. So I have dry skin, and this feels like really comfortable on my skin. I don't find that it accentuates dry patches. It certainly does not feel dry on my skin. It lasts really well. I have worn this for 8+ hours, and the only place where I've had it kind of come off or, you know, like deteriorate has been around my chin when I've had my mask like up and down, up and down, up and down. I have nothing bad to say about it, and for the price, it is exceptionally amazing. And I do believe that there are more shades of this foundation than I previously mentioned, like in my review. By the way, I will link to my review of this in the description, just in case you want to see a more thorough kind of evaluation of it and you want to see how it applies. I thought there were only like 3 shades, but apparently, right, so Miss Rose is one of the most respected makeup brands in the Eastern world. I didn't know that, and I'm not surprised because every single product that I tried from Miss Rose has been really good. Okay, so next we've got a couple of cream eyeshadows. I have one from the Becky Shoe brand and one from the Diane brand. These are kind of dupes of the P. Louise eye bases. You can use these as a very opaque eye base in which to apply other shadows on top of, or you could just use these if you just wanted to have like a very opaque kind of bold look. So the Becky Shoe one is in this beautiful kind of mint green shade. I was so impressed with how easy this was to apply. It just went on so opaquely. It was a pleasure to apply. I had so much fun just because it was so straightforward to use, and it looked amazing. It dried down, you know, it didn't like crease in my lines or anything. It just kind of dried down, locked in place, looked fantastic. So I really loved this one by the Becky Shoe brand. They do have a range of different shades, so if mint green is not what you're into, then I would recommend the brand and the line, and you can have a peruse to see what the shades may be up your fancy. What does up your fancy mean? I have no idea, but it sounded good. It sounded better than up your street, because that's the phrase, isn't it? People say, oh, it's not really up my street. What does that mean? Okay, so the second eye base that we have is by Diane. So this is, oh my gosh, the most beautiful. It's kind of like a cherry red, vampy red. Oh God, it's just so good. I'm just thinking back to when, I did my little first impression of it. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Again, similar to the Bexale one, so easy to use. It dries down, locks in place, has so much pigment to it. You can kind of blend out the edges, and the edges look like a lighter pink to the rest of it, and it just is the best look. It's beautiful. And this particular shade, which unfortunately does not have a name, but I know it kind of looks brown, but I can assure you this is like it's kind of like a burgundy red. But this, if you've got like green eyes or hazel eyes, it will really bring out the green in your eyes. So up my fancy. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this favourites video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I will link to these products in the description downstairs, and if I remember, I'll also link to the videos where I did reviews of these products so that you can have a little more in-depth look if you so desire. I hope that you're having a lovely day today. Thank you as always for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!